Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy298 here. Welcome back to a brand new F1 2017 career mode video for you guys today here on my channel. Today we are back with part 16, which is the Japanese Grand Prix, and we start off with some information from Chris letting us know that our engine upgrade part has been fitted to the car. This was, I believe, an element that was meant to be fitted for, I believe, like the Italian Grand Prix or somewhere around that time. But unfortunately the upgrade failed, so we then had to purchase more resource points to fix it, even though, as you can see, we've got lots of quality control pieces added, still broke. And that's now finally fitted, which does mean we now have more straight line speed than the Ferraris. In terms of the chassis, we're all but there. Aerodynamics, we have now fallen back a lot, and my priority, if we get any more upgrades at the end of the season, is to try and get as many aerodynamic pieces onto the car as possible, because we have seriously fallen behind in that area, and that's probably where the top teams of Ferrari and Mercedes are pulling away from us. But anyway, we're doing a very good job in the championship nonetheless. We've built ourselves a comfortable margin. You can see that both myself and Ferrari have made upgrades this weekend and have closed in on Mercedes-Benz. But going into this weekend, you can already see by the back end sliding out, this was by far the toughest weekend I've ever had to do in a career mode race. Legit ever. It was absolutely impossible. You can see it here from these practice sessions, just consistently losing the back end here, sliding onto the grass and going into the gravel trap here on the tyre wear test. That was that program out of the way. Couldn't go back and do that one again, unfortunately. Yeah, I just didn't have a feel for the car, and yet again, through the Dunlop curb, having horrific understeer, actually hitting the wall and losing my front wing end plate, and that was that qualifying simulation run out the way. I tried to go back and do it again in towards Degner 1, taking it very fast here, and then just going wide and just having nothing to do with it. I mean, overall, this was probably the worst performing car I've ever driven in F1 2017. It was horrible. So going into this qualifying session, I was extremely worried. I didn't know where I was in terms of pace. It says to qualify in the top 4 and beat Vettel. I don't even think that's possible, if I'm perfectly honest. Like, this is going to be the toughest weekend so far. And as we carry on then, in towards qualifying we go, in towards the first 2 corners. You can see here, sorry, the chicane now. This is actually my final qualifying run, because my first run, I made yet another mistake. We're in P20, across the line then. What's our lap going to be? This has to be a good lap, otherwise we are in trouble. And it is only P8 in qualifying. That's a horrible qualifying session for us here today. And as I said before, the struggle is really bad. And as you can see, we're 1.6 seconds off of Lewis Hamilton's pole time. And crucially, for Hamilton, who is my closest title rival with a 50-point gap to claw down, he's on pole position and I'm down in P8. That's not good enough, unfortunately. And we need to step it up now for this Japanese Grand Prix. And does he have a penalty? No penalties, because he took one in Malaysia. Bottas on the front row of the grid alongside him, so it's an all Mercedes front row, and it's an all Ferrari second row, and then it is my teammate Ricciardo who actually out-qualifies me. Funny enough, I'm pretty much in Ricciardo's seat, because normally it's myself, in the top 5, then the 2 Force Indians, and then Ricciardo, but this time Daniel is in front of me, so pretty interesting that one. But as we move on then, having a look at the rest of the grid, you can see Pascal Wehrlein, Van Dorn and Ericsson all just looking up there, and we're going to carry on our way then and see where we can go. As you can see now onto the grid here, looking at our setup, you can see that we're going to start on the super soft tyres and then make the change to the soft tyres for the end of the race, and we're going to drop down the fuel load just a little bit here, and as you can see now onto the formation lap here for the Japanese Grand Prix, and we're going to just get away very early because the formation lap means nothing, so that's exactly what we're going to do, just drive on without it and pass everyone, which hopefully we can try and do in the race from 8th on the grid. But here we are now on the grid here for the Japanese Grand Prix. We've got 5 red lights here for this race, and it is lights out to go here for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix. I was too busy waffling that I missed the start sequence there, but you can see Bottas has had an amazing start up front, and he's nicked the lead of the Grand Prix. We've got Romain Grosjean literally connecting with the side of my car there, so already a bit of contact. We just get underway here. Raikkonen has dropped down the order as well. He's gone from 4th down to 7th. Horrible start for Kimi Raikkonen here, but we are still in 8th place. We haven't made a place. Actually, sorry, I take that back. We're up into 7th. Ocon has dropped down the order. You can see him. He's behind one of the Renault cars there, so we're up into 7th place, so 1 place gained, and already we're looking good as Bottas as well has overtaken Hamilton to really help me out as Raikkonen through the Degners, very close onto the back of Sergio Perez now. Back end slides as we come through the exit of the Degner, but towards the hairpin, We need to make some lunges in this race, and down the inside of Kimi Raikkonen, we make it stick, just about slotting ourselves into the gap that Perez formed on Raikkonen. Lovely overtake there, up into 6th place, and we need that. Bottas leads, Hamilton 2nd, I believe it is Vettel 3rd, Ricciardo 4th, and then I believe it's probably some other drivers as well. Perez there in 5th, and then myself in 6th, so I did get the order right. I am a genius. On to lap 3 of the Grand Prix though, and as you can see from the mini-map, I'm falling back badly because unfortunately, my pace just isn't there in this race, and now I'm severely compromising. Raikkonen's races through the first Degner. We go very, very wide in there. Second exit of the Degner doesn't go well for us, and now Raikkonen's got a great run towards this hairpin now. Late braking move, down the inside. We defend the position nicely from Raikkonen, but he does the switchback line, and now Kimi's on the other side of the track, but we just about managed to defend against Raikkonen here, and we're still in 6th place, but we're fighting hard now in this Grand Prix, and as you can see, we've got a strategy change. We're not going to pit on the end of lap 3, but I want to try and get first service and aim for an undercut, and on to lap 4 of the Grand Prix now. You can see the gap between myself and Perez is 4.1 seconds, and that's not because it was a second a lap gained per lap. It was because literally I had a few laps where I was A, fighting with Raikkonen, and B, just making horrible mistakes. But overall, my pace is absolutely shocking around here, and it's literally probably about 2, maybe 2.5 seconds a lap slower than the front runners. It is that poor. So I'm literally doing everything I can to try and get anything out of this race, and it's going to be very, very hard. Do you know what? A P6 at this, like, scoring points is all I was aiming for here in Japan. This is how poor it was, but yeah, we're coming out of the pits now, and you can see here that Raikkonen actually lost a little bit of time coming into the pits there. He was right on the back of me, and now you can see we've got a small little buffer there, and I have no doubt that that will close up very, very swiftly. But yeah, Raikkonen losing a bit of time in the pit stops, and he didn't need that because, again, his race is just being severely compromised by my lack of pace as we go on to lap 5 of the Grand Prix now, the end of lap 5, or coming up towards the end of lap 5. Anyway, you can see the horrible understeer through Spoon Corner. It just isn't working for me now as we catch up to the back of Stoffel Vandoorne here now, and we're going to have a much better run on Stoffel because, of course, we do have a better straight line speed car than Vandoorne. 130R we go. We've got yellow flags, though, so we can't make that overtake on Vandoorne as both the Toro Rossos there. That's Sainz and Kvyat going out of the race, and just as we pop into a green flag zone, I managed to make that move stick, and then it goes back to yellow flags again. So luckily, we just had a little inch of a green flag, and we overtook Stoffel Vandoorne, as now Raikkonen looks to attack Vandoorne, as we look to attack both Sauers of Pascal Wehrlein, Marcus Ericsson towards turn 1. This is going to be super close. A little bit of wheel banging between all three of us there, but we had to make that move stick past the two Sauers, and now Raikkonen's got to get past the pair of them as well, and that's horrible for Kimi, because he was all over the back of me, and now we're closing up to the back of Magnussen here in this race. So it is really kicking off here in the Japanese Grand Prix, as on to lap 6 we go now. Magnussen has DNF from the Grand Prix, and that has actually caused a safety car. I think Magnussen may have DNF'd, because in front of me, Magnussen sort of went wide into the Degners and spun out. But yeah, safety car has been deployed, and this is a replay, by the way, of the crash into 130R between the two Toro Rossos. So it was actually 3 wide between Lance Stroll, one of the Hasses, which I believe was Ericsson, and Carlos Sainz. Sainz lost the back end of the car after being hit twice, and then he sort of spun around, and unfortunately Danny Kvyat collected him. So that was the replay of that accident there. But as we carry on now back on this race here, we're going to be going racing once again. It is Billy Bottas leading, Hamilton 2nd, Vettel 3rd, Ricciardo 4th, Palmer 5th, Perez in 6th, and myself in 7th. I don't believe Palmer's pitted yet in this race as Perez goes for the attack on Palmer, and you can see I've got some sort of mud screen here. It is my smoke screen tactic. I don't know what it is. It's a replay camera glitch. But as you can see, Perez goes down the inside of Palmer, but I'm going to sneak it down the inside of the pair of them here, up into 5th place. Lovely overtake there. I have damaged my front wing, though, in that attack, but I don't even care. Any position will do for me, and a top 5 finish will be absolutely brilliant here for what has been a torrid weekend for myself in this Japanese Grand Prix. But I took a little bit of damage then on the front wing as I tried to make that overtake stick. And as you can see now, up in front, up into the lead of the race now, Hamilton going for a move on the round the outside of Bottas into 130R. Lovely overtake from Lewis Hamilton round the outside into 130R. And Bottas has actually got a problem. This is why I'm showing the replays of these guys up front. My engineer told me that Bottas has got some form of an issue, so he is going to be slow, and that's going to cost them horribly. And that's actually allowing everyone else to close up. You can see there I am on the pit straight, still a long way back as Vettel now looks to attack Valtteri Bottas in towards turn 1. Vettel makes it stick and shoves Bottas Bottas out wide, but Ricciardo has to stay behind for a little bit longer now in this Grand Prix, so it's going to be hurting Daniel more than anybody else as we come through the S sections now, and now as we make the run towards 130, you can see my pathetic camera glitch smoke screen is still there, or mud screen, as Ricciardo in towards 130, Bottas holds it round the outside, and Bottas is causing a lot of problems for my teammate Ricciardo to get past as he locks up into the chicane, but you can see, look at me, just fighting it through the chicane. I knew that they were holding, Bottas was holding Ricciardo up, so I was giving it everything to try and close this gap up, because right there, these two are fighting for, believe it or not, a podium, and I might actually get a podium if I can just keep it going. Ricciardo goes for it, Bottas holds it around the outside in towards turn 1, but I'm right there now towards this S section. This S section is where I was losing all my time. I was literally 2 seconds a lap slower in this horrible S section, just couldn't get the car to work here, but you can see now, all of us on the back of Valtteri Bottas, and you can see I am right behind as we now come over to my POV here, as you can see through the Dunlop curb, just losing the back end, going wide, Perez all over the back of me now, as Ricciardo through towards Degner 1. This is my opportunity to attack now, as we can see all of the cars here, I'm giving it everything, flying through the first Degner, flying through the second Degner, towards this hairpin now. Ricciardo's going to go for a lunge, maybe not, because guess what, I'm going for it, I'm going to take them both on, down the inside of Ricciardo, down the inside of Bottas, we make the move stick on the pair of them now, and here comes Ricciardo around the outside. Can he make it stick on Bottas? I think he's going to just about sneak it as we go towards the spoon corner. Can he make it stick? Yes, he does. Both Red Bulls nick the positions. Bottas is horribly compromised in this race with whatever mechanical issues he's got, and it's going to allow him to drop even further down the order now, because here comes Sergio Perez, and he's never going to defend against Perez, because that Force India engine has got the same power as the Mercedes engine. And as you can see, Raikkonen in towards 130R is now also on the back of Valtteri Bottas. It's all gone horribly wrong for Valtteri in this race. He was leading all the way through, and now he's dropping far down the order, and now he's going to have to deal with Esteban Ocon as well. And believe it or not, Bottas is behind the two Force Indians in this Drivers' Championship, and this is not going to help him in the slightest as Ocon flies through now on the pit straight. DRS is enabled for both of them here, but Ocon's going to shove Bottas out to dry. Bottas going to hold it though, but Ocon just about carries more speed in there, and unfortunately for Bottas, that is it. Lewis Hamilton though wins the Japanese Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel is going to take P2, but somehow, after what's been the hardest weekend ever in a career mode race for myself, I have come away with a podium in this Grand Prix, third place today, and I am it's probably more satisfying than a race win at some points, these type of races, because that was a race that requires a lot of luck from the safety car, from Bottas's incident, but it also took a lot of driver determination, because I could have just given up in the Grand Prix as soon as Perez escaped on the end of the end of the first stint when he was 4 seconds clear after just 4 laps. I could have just said, yeah, stuff it, I'll just defend Kimi Raikkonen, but you saw, hopefully in that Grand Prix nonetheless, especially when Ricciardo was battling Bottas, how much I was giving absolutely everything to try and push this Red Bull, to try and push the car, to limit the damage as well. As of course we're coming up towards some tracks now that should slightly benefit this car a little bit more now, with USA, Mexico, Brazil and Abu Dhabi. So yeah, we're coming towards the back end of the season now, and we just need to stop this man here, Lewis Hamilton. He is the man who is on form now. He has picked up 2 wins in a row. So the pendulum has swung back into Hamilton's favour, and as we head towards the US Grand Prix next, I look to try and swing that pendulum back into my favour here, as Sebastian Vettel also celebrating here. Toto Wolff very, very happy as well, and Hamilton celebrates there. But as we look at the full race standings then, Hamilton wins the Grand Prix by 1.9 seconds over Sebastian Vettel, and I was 11 seconds behind, obviously, as I had to fight Bottas a lot more than Hamilton. Hamilton got past him straight away, whereas, you know, Ricciardo had to stick back for another whole lap and a bit, so it definitely affected him more. In the Drivers' Championship, the gap has been cut to 40 points now, with just 4 races to go. So Hamilton needs to win all those races, and I need to come at 3rd or lower for him to clinch this championship. So I just need to try and beat him in 1 or 2 races, and we could be there. In the Constructors' Championship, the gap is 72 points between myself and Mercedes-Benz after Bottas's horrible race, which cost him dearly in that one. So yeah. Obviously, that is it for the Japanese Grand Prix. We've got an invitational event. I don't really show these anymore because they kind of don't really have any use. But guys, if you guys have enjoyed today's video, feel free to drop it a like. And if you are new around here as well and you do enjoy the content that you do see, feel free to click the subscribe button as well. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Take care all, and peace.